What did you create out of that exercise? What's the value you created that you know you can take back and create in your life? What did you discover? How many mechanisms are there? There's an infinite amount of mechanisms. So you always have a solution. And if you knew there was an infinite amount of mechanisms, what would you have to worry about? Nothing. Intention plus mechanism equals result. I'm going to encourage you to write this down. When the intention is clear, the mechanism will appear. When the intention is clear, the mechanism will appear. Now we're going to talk a little bit more about that towards the end of the debrief in this exercise. So I want you to put that away. But when the intention is clear, the mechanism will appear. Great. So what else did you create? What else did you discover in that exercise? Yeah, it can be fun to get from here over there. We can have fun doing it. What else? You felt supported. Now, is that important? Yeah, that's important. You felt supported by the people in this room, that they believed in you and you could get your hopes and dreams. I'm going to suggest that in life, you want to surround yourself with people like that. People who support you and they believe in you. You want to surround yourself with those people. Some of you don't have that at home, and some of you may not have that at work. So I'm going to encourage you to stay connected with the people in this room because they believe in you and they know they'll support you in your hopes and dreams. What else did you notice? Yes, you can learn from people. Great notice. What else? Yeah, some people really pulled themselves across the room and other people just did something that looked like this. Who gets to decide how hard it's going to be? Yeah, you do. You get to decide. How about for those of you that got, what happened there? Yeah, when the mechanism, where did that mechanism come from and what's the reality of that? See, many of you on the first time were thinking of that mechanism before you got to the front because you wanted to make sure you had one, and you may have done that on the second time too. But by the third and fourth time, you weren't even thinking about it. You were just going. You were just going. And for those of you that got and you came to the front of the room, how long did it take for you to come up with a solution? Not long. It's not like you're standing up there for 10 to 15 minutes thinking of a solution. So why were you able to come up with that so quickly? Well, I'll tell you. Remember this guy? What's the one word response from the heart? Yeah, it says okay. And so the head tells the heart, we're going over there, and the heart says okay, and it gives you a mechanism. And sometimes you get stuck in life. And sometimes that can be embarrassing. Sometimes there could be a lot of people looking at you, and you may get frustrated. You may get nervous. That may happen. And you may get 3 times, and there's a lot of people looking at you in the front of the room, and you got this little conversation going on between your head and your heart. And it says, hey, number 2, there's a lot of people looking at me. I look stupid up here. Give me a mechanism. Let's go. And the heart says, okay. You go across the room. And your emotional response, the heart says, okay, and gives you that mechanism. Now, sometimes in life, are you going to stall out? Yeah, there's going to be times that you're creating things in life and you get creating things in life and you get you're not as enthusiastic about it, or you convince yourself there aren't any resources left, and the mechanism doesn't work. Maybe the mechanism doesn't work. So do all mechanisms work? No. But how many mechanisms are there? Yeah, there's an infinite amount. There's an infinite amount. So if we come back to the formula, look, intention plus mechanism equals result. And we want intention plus mechanism to equal 100% result. What's the percentage of intention? What would be the percentage of mechanism? Great. Well, I'm going to suggest to you, and I don't know, but I'm going to suggest that intention always equals mechanism. Or always equals result. Intention always equals result. And I know the formula says you've got to have a mechanism. You've got to have a mechanism, but how many mechanisms are there? It's infinite. And does it really matter what mechanism you use? No. And if one doesn't work, You got an infinite amount to rely on. So mechanism just isn't that important. See, I think the importance is intention. Intention matters. So it's your intention that equals your result. What if everything you intended to do, you created, you accomplished? What if your deep-seated compassion and commitment to something always came to fruition? What would that be like? What if that was true? What if that was true in your life? See, I'm going to suggest that if you want to know where you are with that in your life, just take a look at where you're at. Where you're currently at is what you intended to create. What you intended to create has created where you are right now in life. So what you intend to create in your business is where you currently are. What you intend to create in your finances, that's your intention. What your intention was around fitness, that's what you're currently creating around fitness in your life. What you intended with your relationships, that's your intention to create. So what if we wanted to increase our intention? Can we do that? What if we wanted to increase the things that we're creating more in life? Can we do that? Yeah. What if we increased our finances? What if we increased our business? What if we increased those clients that are coming in? What if we enhanced our relationship with our kids? Can we do that? Can we increase that intention? Yeah, we can. So how do you increase your intention? There's 3 ways to increase your intention. The first one of how you're going to increase your intention is a way to really make your intention strong. And you guys were doing this at the beginning of the exercise. What were you doing at the beginning of the exercise? Yeah, you were making a bold declaration. You were making a promise. And who were you making that to? You were making that to yourself and everybody in the room. And when you make a bold declaration or promise, you want to tell as many people as possible. Why would you want to do that? Well, because they're going to ask you. So you tell them you're going to buy your dream home, and the next time you see them, they say, hey, have you bought that dream home yet? Or, how's your business going? Were you able to find more clients? They're going to ask you because you told them about it. That's going to create some accountability for you. Also, who else hears it? Yes, your heart hears it. Your heart hears it every single time you say something. Every single time your heart hears it. And it says, okay, 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 okay. In the mechanisms, in the middle of the night, you're just going to start having mechanisms coming to you and helping you overcome things you never thought you could overcome or never thought you could create. You're going to want to put a pad of paper by your bed, because when you get clear with that intention, those mechanisms are going to be coming in, and they're going to be coming in, and they're going to help you overcome things you never thought were possible. You're going to want to take advantage of that opportunity because your heart is following. Your heart is in there. It's saying okay, and it's providing those mechanisms for you. It's really cool. So that's the first way to raise your intention, to make a bold declaration. The second way to raise your intention, athletes do this. And it can really help you solidify your intention. Athletes do this. What is it? Yeah, it's the visualize. Visualize, visualize. You see, your heart sees in emotions and pictures. That's what your heart does. So if you want to increase your finances, you want to see yourself increasing those finances. You want to see that check being placed into your hands, and that's going to increase your intention around that. Then you want to see yourself going to the bank and depositing that check, visualizing that. If you want that new car, you want to see and know everything about that new car. You want to see the color of that new car. When you want to visualize, when you open that door, you smell that new car smell. You want to visualize when you sit in that car, how it feels, how fast you're going. You want to see all those things with that new car. You want to see it and visualize that. You can also do that with your dream home, and you can also do that with vacations. You want to put it on a dream board. You want to create a digital dream board on your iPad or your computer, or you can create another dream board you could put on your refrigerator, your mirror, or the dashboard of your car, because you want to see this as many times as possible. The third and last way to increase your intention is to put yourself at emotional and financial risk. Were you at emotional risk in this room today? Yeah, you were. And for many of you, you look downright silly. Some of you just look stupid. But does it matter? No. You chose to put yourself at emotional and financial risk in front of these people today. You chose to put yourself in the game. And at Clemmer and Associates, we love to play games. It's what we do. We love contests. And so there's two things that we do around increasing your intention and your goals here. The first one, there's two things around it. You want to set your goal, you want to set your intention. And when you set a goal, there's an inherent reward with that goal, and there's an inherent consequence with that goal. So you say you want to release 20 pounds. Well, what's the inherent consequence if you don't do that? So you don't do that, and you don't eat healthy. You don't go to the gym to get the goal. And what could happen? Well, you could gain weight. You could feel not very healthy. That's an inherent consequence of the goal. There's an inherent reward with that goal. When you release that 20 pounds, you may feel like you've got a lot more energy. You ate right, you hit the gym, you got a lot more energy, and you just feel healthier. That's an inherent reward with that goal. Reward. So we always ask you to set up an additional risk and reward with your goals or your intention. So risk and reward with your goals and intention. So how does that look? What's that look like? Well, I'm going to have 5 clients. I'm going to have 5 new team members in my business, or I'm going to take in 100 new clients in the next 90 days. It doesn't matter which one, but I'm going to do that in the next 90 days. So I tell everybody about that's what I'm going to do, and I'm going to have 100 new clients in the next 90 days. And then when I do that, I'm going to give myself a reward. For me, it could be I'm going to take myself to the beach for the weekend. And if that's not for you, maybe you buy yourself a MacBook Pro. But once you accomplish that goal, you give yourself a reward, whatever that may look like for you. On the opposite side, if you flip-flop that, you want to set up a risk or a consequence that goes along with that. So let's say you don't get your goal. So I wanted to have 100 new clients in the next 90 days, and I didn't get that goal. So what I've heard some people say they do is if they don't get 100 new clients in the next 90 days, they're going to clean all the public toilets in Grand Junction. See, it needs to be something that you're not willing to do, something you don't want to do with accomplishing a goal. It needs to make your tummy go flip-floppy, getting nervous about it. I've had people say, well, I'm going to give my keys to my accountability partner, and if in the next 90 days I don't get those 5 new team members working in my office, then I'm going to give my keys to my accountability partner, and I'm going to have to take public transportation for the next 60 days. Would that be inconvenient? Yeah, that would be inconvenient, for sure. So, for sure. There's another one that I've heard people do, and this really raises your intention. They say they're going to donate money to a political campaign that they would never endorse. Would that raise your intention? Yeah. So what they do is they write out a $2,000 check to the political party they'd never endorse, and they give it to accountability partner. Now, that is not your spouse. This is somebody that's going to hold you accountable no matter what. So you write that out, you give that check to them. Then when you accomplish your goal, you get to show them documentation that happens. So if you said, I'm going to have 5 new team members in the next 90 days, then you get to show them something from payroll or an HR document that shows them employed in your office, and hand that to your accountability partner. Once that's done, the accountability partner will give you that check back, and you can tear that up. Now, if you're not able to show that documentation, you don't get that goal, that accountability partner mails that check. Yeah. How many of you would do that? Great. If you're thinking you wouldn't do that, I'm going to suggest that your goal is just not that important to you. I'm going to suggest that you feel that that goal is not that important and not worthy of doing something like that. Now, for some of you, you may feel that you may not have enough trust or belief in yourself that you're going to be able to accomplish that goal. It just may not happen. So you want to set a reward and you want to set a risk or a consequence for you in this process. Now, many of you have decided that you want to go to the advanced course. And for some of you, you have no idea how to make that happen. So I'm going to tell you, you all can go. And you all deserve to go. And for some of you, you don't have any idea how you're going to make that happen or what it looks like. And you haven't decided to go. Well, I'm going to tell you that you just don't understand this exercise yet. You don't understand intention mechanism. So if you want to go to the advanced course, decide to go. You may not know how you're going to get there or what that's going to look like. Decide to go, and we'll just figure out the rest. So that's intention mechanism. It's a beautiful exercise. Thank you.